So thank you very much for everyone to joining us in this today's session, and a very good day to everyone. I'm sure you all are from different part of the world, many from Asia Pacific, but still there will be places where it's just gonna be a day, early day, and there will be places. We are based in Malaysia, and we are in the afternoon time zone now. So in this session, the title is in front of you, which is the Garden of Connectivity, and mainly we are presenting some of our work, part of our work, which is on the visualizing the connectivity landscape. My name is Tariq Zaman. I'm a professor in the School of Computing and Creative Media in University of Technology, Sarawak, Malaysia. With me, I have Brandon Chong. He's just finished his undergrad studies and entered in his professional life, currently on an internship in a company. Dr. Ezmieralda Melissa, she is from Binus University, Indonesia. And we also have Naresh from Sagar Group of Institute, India, um, from Chevela, near to Hyderabad, somewhere. For today's session, so when we were planning this session, basically, we were I think in the last 2 days there must be there may be a discussion about from the physical moving towards online and or fully online. So we were expecting that we are going to Nepal, and it will be very interesting to have a physical face-to-face exhibition of the component, because we prepared material mainly for a physical exhibition. But in any way, I think it's still very interesting to have you all here in this session. So we will try our best at how we can manage along the way. So the first 10 minutes is, of course, I'm going to give you some background of our project and the structure of the showcase it, how we are going to showcase it. Then the next 10 minutes will be the breakout rooms, where you can join any of the breakout room. We will have 2 breakout rooms currently. One is with our partner from Indonesia, Dr. Ezmieralda, and the other one is our partner from India, Dr. Naresh. And then after the breakout room, we will be coming back to the main room, and I will also demo the MySpeed side, the application that we developed, and also would like you to test and try it. So let me quickly go on the background and the project background, and to give some basic information. So just during COVID, I think, like any other part of Asia Pacific, in Malaysia, there was also this discussion started that the government and communities were again and again mentioning that we are spending a lot of money or investing a lot of money in digital infrastructure and internet connectivity, but it is not like that. Though the figures which are promoted by on media, it was showing totally the other way around than the user experience. So I'm just mentioning here these 3 of them, where in 2021, the Bernama, the national media, is talking about that the nation 4G coverage is 96%, and it is in 2021. But then in 2023, the Sarawak Premier or Chief Minister, he mentioned about that the 4G coverage in Sarawak is 93.87. So the consistency in the figures was not that much, and we were always skeptical. So it make us much more skeptical, and to look at more in detail about it. That what are the challenges there? So of course, this was one component of that. On the other side is the people experience or the user experience was not according to or it was not aligned to the figures which were promoted or means mentioned in the media. So The same discussion also happened in APrIGF 2022 in one of our session where we mentioned about the figures that we are not really somehow satisfied or agreed that whatever the figures are in the media or in the space. For example, the GSMA 96% claim of internet connectivity, 4G connectivity in the Asia Pacific region. The speakers from Sri Lanka, New Zealand, Malaysia, we all agree. Means we mentioned about it that these figures are somehow overestimation. And so when the figures are mentioned, we start looking more in depth of that. And then also start not looking at it that the coverage, but the quality of the coverage or the quality of the internet. And in those cases, uh, looking at in Malaysia, how the quality of services are monitored, or that have the four KPIs currently. But in 20 until 2022, there was mainly reported with three KPIs. Of one was with the download speed, the latency, and packet loss. Later on, the upload has been also added. So when we look at the structure, we found three main issues. One is very specifically on monitoring of quality of services um, in our region, and very specifically Sarawak or Borneo is where the dispersed communities are living. So that was one of them. That how the performance of the telecom companies and the service providers are monitored, and it has been acknowledged in the government reports that this is one of the challenging component. The second one was the mapping and visualization. The current mapping, the maps which shows the internet coverage, we also found that it's not really user-centric, but it is much more for the other stakeholder. One is that, of course, the government and the telecommunication company that how they would like to visualize or to promote their services. And the third one is access to data. These are the two ministers who are part of one of our policy dialogue. And they both mentioned that they don't have really the data that what is the current status of internet coverage in their own locality. So these were the three major issues that we found it very interesting for us. And then we come up with three solutions. One is, of course, the open source MySpeed.site platform we developed. The second one is that we added more interactive visualization to that, so that the policymakers and very specifically the member of the parliament, they can also monitor and see what is the current status of QoS and the user experience in their locality. And the third one is the net stethoscope, which is a IoT device which can continuously ping our MySpeed.site platform to show us 24-hour coverage in a locality. And specifically, there is only one. But then when we get the data is usually in charts and bars and everything, which is not very user-centric. So this was one of our challenge, that how we can visualize this data or to show this data. Of course, for a person, our target user were included also very much the indigenous communities, the people from rural area with low internet literacy or computing literacy, a common man. So those were part of our user base. So we came up with this concept of bouquet of connectivity, where we can show this data by with a metaphor of a flower. So this flower, how you can read the flower, how you can read the bouquet. So there, the petal down, this is going to show the QoS baseline, and with color on the each petal, it represent one of the QoS parameter. These petals, the up petals, they are going to show the telecom company performance. And then there is also another leaf attached to that. If the four petals if the alt QoS is according to the standard, then or fulfill the standard, then you will also see this leaf there. And then the bar is going to, the color of the bar is going to share whether it is a rural community or it is an urban community. We were also looking at the digital divide component here. And if you if you see in a more detail of that, so all those flowers which you can see with the leaf, it means that they are fulfilling all the criteria for the QoS according to the mandatory standards. Also, the color of the flower is the color of the telecommunication company. So I will stop here and I will hand over to Brandon, who's going to tell you that the experiment that we conducted in Malaysia and India and Indonesia, how the experiment has been planned, and then also along the way, what was the initial of our finding. Thank you, Brandon.
All right. So yeah, thank you very much. So basically what I'm going to share next is that, wait, let me share my screen. Mm, okay. So is my screen clear? Alright. So what I'm going to share next is actually how we did our study, how we conduct the testing in our location here in Sarawak, Malaysia. So basically, the objective is to capture the urban and to rural internet performance using a more scalable method, which is adaptable to other regions. So I believe later on, Dr. Ezmi and also Ram will share on how they conduct their tests on their side. So basically, we begin to plan our test route by selecting the city, the center of the city. For example, in one of the use cases is that we choose Kuching as the city center where we are going to begin the test. So we choose the city center, and afterward we will move outward in a 5 kilometer intervals along the major road until we reach to the rural area that we have decided to. So we are using a tools which is called the map developer tools, whereby you can draw a circle with a specific radius. Like for example, we are moving outwards with 5 kilometers. So we are setting the circle to actually visualize the coverage and visualize the coverage and also to plan how the road actually is. So after that, at each location that we have already decided, we will conduct an in situ test of internet speed test using one of our application, which is the MySpeed speed test application, where you can download it from the Google Play Store and also the Apple App Store. So we went to the location and we do the testing for each telco at that specific regions. So after that, as you can see in the photo here, we have the 4 devices. So each device represent one telco. So at the same place, at the same time, we will do the testing through the application. So that's basically how we structured and also how we structure our methodology on doing the testing. So it should be simple and also repeatable so that in other regions, for example, in Indonesia, Australia, um, India, we can also using the same method of doing the testing. So here's some of our finding. So Bintulu is one of the one of the city in Kuching, in Sarawak. So it's an industrialized town central of Sarawak, located in the central of Sarawak. So as you can see here, when you in the Bintulu regions, uh, the urban area performs slightly better than the rural area of Bintulu. So you can see, as Dr. Prof. Tariq has mentioned earlier, when you see a leaf, they actually those telco are actually fulfilling all the MSQS set by the MCMC. And next is Kuching. So Kuching is the state capital of Sarawak and also is the most populous city in here. So also you can see these slight gaps where the urban performs slightly better than the rural area. But interestingly, when we move to a very deep rural area, for example, Long Lamai and also Long Banga. So Long Lamai is a very deep rural area in the region of Sarawak. However, the telco performance here was surprisingly strong and is often better compared to other city in Sarawak here. But when we move to the village next to the Long Lamai, which is the Long Banga, the performance drastically getting poor. So yet from this finding, actually what we can conclude is that the connectivities in Sarawak here are highly dispersed. So in some of our expectation, like in a rural area, we might perform poor, but turns out in some area it's performed better than the urban area. So which is a very dispersed and also unpredictable. So this shows that how this visualization actually helps to see and also to see the coverage and rather than a broad assumption. So yeah, that's for me, aspect to Prof. Tariq.
Thank you very much, Brandon. I think we can go for the quickly for the breakout rooms. And sorry, we are behind our time, so I think then we need to come back and for the last demo or call, we will have the last 5 minutes. So can I ask the organizer that?
Yes, sorry, just checking. Is it just still 10 minutes?
Yes, 10 minutes, fine. I
Okay.
think 5 minutes should
Going,
be faster.
okay, opening now.
Thank you once again for everyone. But if you have any question, I will just quickly conclude it here. If you have any question, please write it to us at any of our email address. My email address is tariqzaman@uts.edu.my. Thank you.